All right, Brayden Schager, former quarterback for the University of Hawaii. How you doing, man? Thanks for joining me.
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get right into you're a Texas guy. Just talk about what it was like growing up in Dallas, Highland Park, when you first started playing football, and what was your inspiration behind wanting to play quarterback?
Yeah, playing Texas high school football, I mean, it's like a religion down there. So, it's different. Growing up, it's all about football in the state, and I always just looked up to those guys at Highland Park when I was a young kid in the stands, and knew I always wanted to play football and play at a high level. And it was just something that I always had a dream of. Something that me and my dad had talked about for a long time is playing college football and then getting a chance at the NFL. So it's all been a dream come true, and I'm just looking forward to what's next.
Yeah, and Highland Park High School, where you played, what was it like playing there specifically? And that place has it's got some serious history with the athletes that have come through there. Matthew Stafford, Clayton Kershaw, Scotty Scheffler. Then other part of the question, have you had the chance to have any interactions with those guys?
Yeah, so no, it's been really special. Coach Randy Allen, he's been there for a long time, and it's an honor to get to play for him and at such a prestigious high school. I think there's really no place like it. Like I said, you're just growing up looking at all those guys out on the field and wanting to be in their shoes one day, and it's really special. It's a true tradition that is amazing, and I still brag about it to guys today about being able to play there. And yeah, I don't have too many interactions with any of the former guys, but obviously there's a lot of famous guys there. I know Matthew Stafford will come back every once in a while, and then I've seen Clayton Kershaw throwing, pitching in the indoor while I'm throwing at the same time, which is pretty cool. But no, it's just cool to be at a high school that's so prestigious, and I think it really set me up for success.
And then recruiting wise, I was just looking at your 24/7 page. Looked like you had a solid amount of interest, good amount of FCS offers, Texas State, Toledo. Those were some of the group of five ones. Just talk about when Hawaii came into the picture, and if you could just do us all a favor and describe what one of those visits out there for recruiting was like, because I know my recruiting visit coming from Miami to DC, it was 15 degrees and snowing all over the place. Just why don't you go ahead and just paint that picture for us of what that was like?
Yeah, unfortunately, my senior year was COVID of high school. So, I was a
Oh,
true four
okay.
years in college, and my senior year of high school was COVID, and I wasn't able to take any visits at all, which was kind of crazy. I did go out there one time before with my family about a week before signing day just to make sure everything was good, and I liked it. And I was recruited by Coach Graham and GJ Kinney, who were only there for a year, and GJ was only there for about 2 weeks after I signed, and then he's, gone on with his whole coaching career. But those guys were from Texas and kind of made me feel at home when I went out there at first, and then obviously had a coaching change and played under Timmy Chang for 3 years, and it was a great experience, and I'm really just blessed to have that time in Hawaii. I loved every minute of it, and it's a truly special place out there. It's a lot different coming from Texas, but it was a truly special place.
You get out to Hawaii for year one and you're thrown into the fire right away. So there are some bright spots throughout that season, but anyone who followed the program knows it wasn't really all that smooth your first year. You saw your first game action, and I think it was the season opener at UCLA. Played in some key moments, had a few starts, including a huge win against a ranked Fresno State team, all while navigating through some internal turmoil within the program. What was that freshman year like for you, and where was your head at during all that stuff?
Yeah, it was a crazy time, walking out in as a freshman and having to deal with a lot of off the field issues that was going on in the program, which was kind of a struggle. It was just something that I had to deal with, and it's just a part of my story now. But I got to play in some and start in those 3 games, which was a great experience for me, and I think really helped me with my career. And I just had to use it all as a learning experience, and I'm just continuing to even using these whole past 4 years as a learning experience for me at the next level, and just taking it all and moving forward and just trying to see what's next.
Yeah, and I mean, when you're a Texas kid playing college football halfway around the world, like if you need a break, it's not like you could just go home. So all that tough stuff's happening. After the season, there's a coaching change. So a lot of guys in your spot would have just hit the portal. Can you just talk about when Coach Chang came in and what his message to you was, and ultimately what made you want to stay there.
Yeah, my first semester was tough, being far from home and having to deal with all that. I think, going into my sophomore year, I really just started to, like Hawaii a lot and like being out there and I liked Coach Chang's message and knew that I was gonna, have a good chance to be the guy and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to after, being a backup for half the year, I wanted to start. I wanted to, be a starting quarterback at the college level and that's just I always want to be on the field, as anyone does as a quarterback. Only one guy can play, and that was the main thing. Is I just wanted to play. I wanted to, get out there and showcase myself, and just play as much as I could.
Fast forward to this year, I always love talking to quarterbacks about their mindset when they're playing from behind. So just kind of take me to Fresno State, rivalry game on the road. You guys are down 20-7 at one point in the game. You had thrown an 89-yard pick six, and then you lead a comeback drive that ends with you throwing the game-winning touchdown. In times like that, what's going through your head in moments where you're playing from behind, and do you have anything you say to yourself specifically or a process you go through to kind of get your head right when it gets chaotic on the field?
Yeah, no, I still remember throwing that pick six and being there laying on the ground, just thinking like it can't end like this. So it's a bad feeling, but I just rallied the guys together and I said we're gonna win this game and just instilled confidence in everybody and tried to send that message along and just slowly we started put a drive together, went down and scored, and then I threw one. We were going down to score again on a 2-minute drill and had a receiver get the ball knocked out, and then happened to get the ball back again and was able to go down there and make a last second touchdown throw, which was a really special moment for me. It was cool to do that on the road. It's hard to win road games coming from Hawaii, and so that was a really special moment. But yeah, no, just trying to rally all the guys together and just make them all believe, and eventually we got the job done.
So you just said it's really hard to win road games coming from Hawaii. Can you just talk about what traveling may look like for a game like, I don't know, Fresno State or let's see. I know you guys played back home for you in Texas, Sam Houston State.
Yeah.
What does that look like travel wise?
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. There was one my junior year we played at Vandy. Had to leave on a Tuesday actually, and so you're missing a lot of class on the road for a long time, and just all the jet lag and traveling and being in a hotel for 4 or 5 nights, 6 nights sometimes is it's tough. It's something you got to deal with those 7, 8 hour flights, 10 hour flights, whatever it might be, and that's just another challenge that being at the University of Hawaii presents, but. It's just something that you got to push through and go out there and give it everything you can.
Yeah, you guys just doing class like throughout the day at a Hilton or something like that
A
on
lot of online classes.
Zoom
Yeah,
and
we have
stuff. Yeah,
have to have academic people with us and all that, but no, it made it tough for sure.
that's good to shed some light on that perspective. I don't think a lot of people think about that when they're watching you guys
No.
play on the mainland. So just kind of getting a little deeper into the mentality side of things. So I got an interview with you that you had did before last season with ESPN Honolulu, and they were talking about how you were playing with a little bit of like a pissed off attitude. And you had said something along the lines of, here's the direct quote, I think it was a bit of a mentality change going into Nevada. I could see that the rest of the team fed off my energy from time to time, so I'd just make myself mad before the game, honestly. I'd just piss myself off. What does that process actually look like? I mean, were you using music? Were there specific thoughts you were bringing back into your head? How do you get yourself into that pissed off mindset? Just because, I mean, quarterbacks, man, so many guys are talking about how they just want to be streamlined and level headed. And not a lot of guys talk about being the aggressor in terms of mindset heading into the game. How'd you get yourself pissed off before games?
Yeah, I think it was just something that I found. Everyone has their process of how they're going to play better, and it was just something that I found that really worked for me from time to time. Was kind of in pregame, I would just find somebody on the other team or find the whole team and kind of just get pissed off, maybe talk a little bit. I like to talk out there, and I found that helps some other guys on our team. Some other guys on our team, if they might go out there nervous or whatever, and to see the starting quarterback, being juiced up and having that confidence, I think it instills confidence in the whole team. And maybe for those quieter guys, it really just, kind of helps them. And, I knew I needed to kind of fill that role from time to time. So, just trying to, make myself a little mad and play with a little anger. And I think it made me start to run a little bit more and lower the shoulder and all that stuff, which is something I love to do. So I think it's just kind of, yeah, like a mentality change that our team needed from time to time.
Definitely ran the ball a lot more this past season? I mean, like your rushing stats were up way more than any other years you played. What contributed to that? Did you just hit the weight room and put some weight on going into this past season? What made it almost seemed, I think it was, I forgot what game it was, but it seemed like it was part of the game plan to get you going as a runner more. What led to that change for you to become that much more part of the game plan as a ball carrier heading into this season?
Yeah, I always knew it was a skill that I had that was kind of, underutilized from time to time, but it was good for me to put in some designed runs and whenever the pocket breaks down, having to get out of there and make a few yards, I found that to be a big strength for me. If it's 3rd and 6 and they're playing two man or whatever it is and I got to run the ball, that was just something that, I think really helped us as an offense too. Whenever I got going, it seemed to get the whole team going with me running the ball and yeah, it was something that we needed to do as an offense, and I think it was a big change for us in games that I did run the ball effectively.
I got the chance back in August to interview one of your former teammates, Dalen Morris, and I asked him this kind of similarly, but you're a Texas kid. Dallas and Hawaii obviously couldn't be any more different. You get out there, now it's all about, you guys got the whole brotherhood thing going, which is just phenomenal. Love it. Reggae music on all the social media posts. I've even seen, I think you post some posts with reggae music on there and stuff like that. The ocean, the whole Hawaiian lifestyle. On top of that, you end up as the fourth all-time passer at a school with a pretty crazy quarterback legacy. Your head coach Timmy Chang, Colt Brennan, of course, Bryant Moniz, Cole McDonald. You have probably one of the best nicknames in college football ever, the whole Shager bombs. And I remember those Colt Brennan days pretty vividly, man. I've always followed University of Hawaii, and he'd always talk about how having success out there in the islands is it's different and it's special in a unique way. Can you just talk about what it's meant to you to be a Hawaii Warrior and how that experience over these last 4 years maybe might have changed you in certain ways?
Yeah, you certainly, it's a culture shock coming from Texas to Hawaii. And, I think I struggled with that my first semester out there. But, after that, I think you just kind of got to embrace the culture and, live that lifestyle of the Hawaiian culture. And, it's a special thing. It was really cool just to continue to grow within that and, just learn from other guys about certain differences and kind of come together. We have a very diverse locker room, guys from different countries and obviously a lot of guys from the mainland, a lot of guys from Hawaii, and so it was cool to just see myself grow over that time. And I certainly think it changed me, and I think I grew up out there a lot too. Went out there as an 18-year-old kid and left 4 years later, and I think I just grew a lot. And I'm forever thankful for how I grew as a person, not just on the field but off the field as well.
Right now, you're down in Florida, Fort Myers, working with Ken Mastroli. Can you just take us through what prep's looking like? Are there any main areas of focus for improvement?
Yeah, it's been really good, being down here in Fort Myers, and I'm working out at a facility called X3, and been able to, go in and we have our speed and strength training a lot of times in the morning, and then go throw with Ken, whether at the facility or with the other receivers. And it's been really good just to continue to, I feel like I'm in great shape right now, and just to just to learn from him and learn from Jordan Llewellyn, who runs the X3. It's been good to learn from those guys and just continue to get better, and just been focusing on my accuracy on a lot of underneath routes, and just kind of really hone in on that stuff and get everything ready for pro day.
What time's your day start? Is it you're working out, you're throwing board work? Is it 5 times a week? Or you guys putting in work 7 days a week? What's that all look like?
Yeah, it's usually Monday through Saturday, and like on a Monday, I go in. I'm there at like six. I'm there at like 6 a.m. and you eat breakfast, then you got your run in the morning, and then Ken comes in at about 8:30, and we start doing some board work for about an hour, and then we'll get out there on the field too and throw and do all that stuff, and then go back, got a lift at like 12, and then got other recovery and physical therapy stuff after that. So that's pretty typical of what a day would look like, and I think it's just helped a lot with doing all that stuff. So it's been good.
Yeah, sounds like the good life. Just
Yeah,
waking up, eating, lifting, and just throwing footballs.
it's my
That's it.
favorite. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, for sure. So it's pretty well documented that you're very active in the community. Things like the Highland Park Buddy Bowl that you and your sister started, working with the Tim Tebow Foundation, and being a Werfel Trophy nominee. Just talk about why that's important to you and when that really became part of who you are, not only as a player, but as a person as well.
Yeah, that was something really special to my family, and it was really cool to get that honor from the All-State Award and all that. It was something I started in eighth grade with my sister, my mom, my dad, all of us. We knew that we always had a heart for kids with special needs. We knew we needed to start something in Highland Park just because it's such a great community, and we knew so many people would get involved as they have, and we're blessed to have a bunch of great sponsors now and a bunch of great families that help out with it, and it's actually coming up here on May 3rd this year, and it'll be our eighth year doing it. So it's going to be really exciting to do that. And I have kids DM me all the time. The special needs kids will DM me on Instagram. Tell me how this is the best day of the year, and they're so excited to come. And that's been really cool to just see their faces and see them get to do something we get to do all the time, and how much it means to them. And so that's been something really special to my family.
From what I hear, you're a pretty solid golfer. But besides that, what do you like to do in your downtime? And what did off seasons look like out there in Hawaii? Did you pick up any Hawaii oriented hobbies? Were you surfing a little bit? You ever do any fishing? What are you doing on your downtime?
Yeah, no, I love to golf. Did a lot of that in Hawaii with a bunch of my teammates, and also going to the beach all the time, playing spike ball on the beach, just hanging out, doing all that stuff. It's just part of the lifestyle there. I would go fish every once in a while, but no, it's super cool. There's a lot of things to do when you're in Hawaii and when the weather's 75 and sunny every day. So we get done with workouts and go to the beach or do whatever and hang out. So it's pretty cool.
I had done some research and saw that you do got a little bit of a routine. You listen to some Phil Collins, go to the 25-yard line and say a prayer out there. Did that ring true all throughout your last year? And also, what's your pregame playlist looking like?
Yeah, I'd always go to the 25-yard line and do a little walkthrough, stretching, just mental prep by myself and, say a prayer as well. A lot of times with my family, they came to every game, which was super cool that it really meant
That's
a lot to me.
crazy.
They came to every game in Hawaii, and they were like the team parents. They were always there, so that meant a ton to me that they made it to every single one. But yeah, I'd listen to some Phil Collins in the air tonight before the game, some other rap music, just get me pumped up and all that. But yeah, always right before the game, it was in the air tonight, right before I went out every single time. I couldn't go without it.
So, like I had mentioned before, seeing some reggae on your social media and stuff like that. Has that become an acquired taste since you went to school out there? You got any artists that you could recommend? Because I love the music, but it's cool to see it rub off on some people that are not from places where that music is being played all that often.
Oh yeah, I love listening to reggae. A lot of times I listen to that on the beach, maybe not before games, but Rebel Soldiers is my favorite. I love listening to them. They were fun to listen to. But no, there's a bunch of good music there, and I still listen to it now.
Hell yeah! Favorite memory as a Hawaii Warrior and those last 4 years playing.
I think as a whole, like being away from it for about 3 months now, I think you just remember being in the locker room with all the guys and just hanging out. And I think I remember that more than anything now. I know that's kind of cliche, that's what everybody says, but it's true. You remember more that than the games. It's just being around the guys or being in the coach's office, just hanging out, bonding with everybody, and just being with your teammates is pretty special to remember.
Just to finish up here, I'd mentioned the legacy of quarterbacks out there at the University of Hawaii. Just to name them again: Timmy Chang, Colt Brennan, rest in peace, Bryant Moniz, Cole McDonald, yourself now. Your name's etched along all those names now in the top five quarterbacks in such a prolific quarterback school. What has that meant to you to have your name alongside guys like that? And what was preached about that when you got out there to go play football and quarterback specifically out there at Hawaii?
Yeah, it was special, and I was able to be coached by Dan Morrison, who coached Timmy Chang and Colt Brennan, and that was awesome. He would always tell me about the history of the run and shoot and the offense, and when those guys were putting up those crazy numbers. So it was always something to strive for, and I still would watch the film from 2007 and that whole season with when Colt and all those guys were going crazy, and it was fun to just kind of learn from them and understand the history of the offense and where it can get to, and it was pretty cool to just learn from that and understand the rich history of quarterbacks at the University of Hawaii.
For sure, man. Well, I appreciate you joining me today. Looking forward to seeing what happens to you on your path to the draft. Pulling for you, man, and keep living the life down there in Fort Myers. It sounds pretty nice right now, so enjoy it.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you.